All right. Hello, hello, hello. I am Minister LaDonna Bracy from Triedstone Church of Chicago, and I want to welcome you to this space, to this place. And we are celebrating our 78th year church anniversary at Triedstone Church of Chicago. And our pastor is Bishop Simon Gordon. We are so excited about 78 years that we thought we would talk to some of our families who have been members of Triedstone for many, many years. And so you are in for a treat for this moment as we begin to talk and begin to share with this family. Two of my favorites are on with me. And so I'll allow them to go ahead and introduce themselves. I'll let them tell you who they are. Didi, you can go first.
Good evening. Thank you so much, Minister Bracy. One of my faves for sure. My name is Devon, lovingly called Dee Dee, but my name is Devon Griffin. And I've been a member of Triedstone my entire life. I was born into the church, and I'm so excited to have this opportunity today.
Wonderful. I'm happy to have you here. And we have
I am Melvin Christmas. Thank you, Miss LaDonna Minister Bracy. And I am a part of the church as well. I was born and raised in this church as well.
wow. I'm like super hyped to talk to you both tonight because as I was mentioning before we got on here, I was like, there's so many people in our church, you don't really know who's related to who. And we've been there for a while. And so I was like, oh, I didn't even know, Didi and Melvin was related. So this should be fun. So let's get into this. Didi, when did you like I heard you say I was born and raised in Triestone, right? And so when did you do you remember like what year you came to the church?
If I have to tell my age, wait, ladies don't tell, right? No,
No.
but I'll just
Well, how about this? Who
I'll
was the
just say
pastor at the time? Who was the
yes.
pastor when you were there?
So the got it. The pastor was Reverend Siler. Yes,
Okay.
the pastor was
Okay.
Reverend Stylers, and
Hmm.
I must say that just to give a little disclosure, we are the fifth generation from the start
Wow.
at
Hmm.
Triedstone. So, but when I came about, Reverend Siler was a pastor.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. And how about
Mhm.
you, Melvin?
When I came about, I believe it was Reverend, I want to say Davis. I was on 35th Street. I
Okay.
was a little
Okay.
boy when I first came in.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. That's really
So Melvin, when you
something.
came,
Didi was at
yeah, 35th.
We was
35th
located
Street.
on 35th and Wentworth. Yeah, the church was.
Okay.
Mhm.
Wow. Isn't that something? Like one of the things that I wanted to ask both of you is with all of your, years being at Tridestone, like what are some of the ministries that you've served on since you've been there? You both are veterans, you know what I mean? Just, with the experience that your family has had with this particular ministry, what are some of the ministries that you found yourself serving on at Tridestone?
Well, I'll start. The main ministry I would say for me has been the music ministry. As far as
Hmm.
I can remember, I've been a part of. We had a sunshine choir, and that was for the little people. And then we graduated to the youth choir, and then it was the inspirational choir. So
Hmm.
that has been a steadfast part of my ministry.
Hmm.
Um, I believe I was about 11 or 12 years old, and they needed help in the finance room. People were starting to call the church during services, and so Dana and I were like one of the first junior finance department workers, and we like answered
Mm-hmm.
the telephones, and um, that was something that we committed to every Sunday after church.
Wow.
Um, Vacation Bible School, that was something big that we helped out a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Um, that was a big thing. Uh, Preparing for it, we gave and it was totally free
Mm-hmm.
meals, the booklets we had to put together, helping the ladies run the Vacation Bible School, and then I would be removed if I didn't mention Youth in Action just took a big part of our lives. I mean, we did homework at church. We were at
Mm-hmm.
church probably 4 or 5 days a week, and willingly. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, those stick out.
I love that you said willingly. You know what I mean? Because that's huge. For young people to want to be in church. You know what I mean? Sometimes it's hard to have them sit through a service. I know for my own kids it's like, hey, pay attention, but to be in a place, in a space where you want to be there more than one day, and doing your homework, it just becomes such a part of your life. So that's so interesting. And Triedstone is known for their musical legacy, and so for you to be a part of that, it's not surprising to me, because I just see how you go forth now, in the music ministry, and just are such a blessing to the people. So that's
Thank
wonderful. So that's good to know. You got a little, some other things under your belt other than, just your beautiful voice that you share with us all the time. Melvin, how
Oh,
about
thank
you?
you.
Oh, you're very
Well,
welcome.
I've been in the choir my entire life. As a little
Hmm.
boy, I sang in the choir with my family, my mom, dad, and my siblings. Um,
Hmm.
I was a junior deacon when I was a little boy as well. Actually, some of the ministries currently, I was a deacon, a nurse, some of the nurses board,
Hmm.
health awareness ministry, food pantry, you name it. I've been there, usher,
Hmm.
most of the ministries in the church I'm a part of, pretty much.
Okay. Yeah, and so I want to make sure that people heard that we really are talking to Deacon Melvin, right? So I'm going to hear you down there with them Dr. Watts. I
I
need to
was
hear some of
definitely a
that,
part
I'm
of Dr.
telling you.
Watts back in the day.
okay? Deacon Melvin. So we give honor where honor is due, okay? Wow, so
And Minister
that's
Bracy, might
cool.
I add? I'm
Hmm.
sorry.
No,
I
go
was
right
going to
ahead.
say, might I add that things have changed, and the structures are different, in the
Hmm.
modern church or now. But I must say
Hmm.
that, years ago, you kind of got in where you fit in too. It's like you weren't necessarily um, on the usher board, but oh my goodness,
Yeah,
if help was needed in that area, it's almost like you learned on the spot. And
yeah,
if you were helping prepare people get ready for baptism, or if you were usher for the special service, or whatever it was, the beautifying club is like we operated as a family, and the
mm,
church operated as a one unit, and we all just
yeah.
helped each other out and played a big part.
That's
And then
I'm
again,
so glad to hear you say that, because I can even see that translated over into now how we kind of pitch in and do what's necessary. Were you going to say something to that,
I
Melvin?
was saying, and then again, my family actually was a part of the music ministry. My grandmother sang in the choir, my mother sang in the
Hmm.
choir. A lot of my cousins, most of my cousins sang in the choir.
Wow. Speaking of family, we do have some family that we can take a look at right now. So let's do that. I want to try to show some of these. You all were so gracious in sharing some pictures with us. And so I'm going to just put some up here on the screen. And you all tell us when it comes up, who are we looking with the pictures? Who are we? Can you all see that on your end?
Oh, that's
Yeah.
my grandmother. That's
Okay,
my
that's your
grandmother,
grandmother,
Dosky
Melvin.
Betty Mans.
Yes, that is
Wow.
Melvin's. And Melvin and I are
Okay.
related by way of our grandmothers. Our grandmothers are
Mhm.
sisters.
We're sisters, yeah.
Okay. Wow,
Mhm.
that's so cool. All right, and so that's Melvin's grandmother. Let's try another one.
Yeah.
We have another one here. We have quite a few um to share here. All righty. Now, how about this one? Can you all see that one?
Yes.
That's
Yes,
Dee
that is
Dee's
my
grandmother.
grandmother.
Uh,
Yes, that's
is
Nadine
that
Griffin.
Okay.
is that your
Yep,
granddad up
that is.
there?
And did go
No,
ahead,
that's
Didi.
that's a younger picture. That's a younger picture of my grandmother, Nadine Griffin,
Okay.
and that's her in her more senior years. And um, yeah, my grandmother was an avid member of the beautifying club, and
Yes.
she just participated and she was a faithful member until she passed. And Bishop Gordon was
Mhm.
there, in her last days.
Okay. Wow.
Mhm.
There's one in particular I'm trying to get to. Uh, let's see. Find it.
Mhm. And
Let's
just to give
see.
you a little history as you go through and pull up some pictures, Melvin and I, we
Mhm.
share great grandparents.
Yeah.
Um, our great grandmother,
Mhm.
Mother Gertrude Mance, and our great grandfather Samuel Mance joined Triedstone in 1948,
Yeah.
and
Wow.
our grandparents then came months later. They are really all of them,
Mhm.
and our grandmother was she was the president of the mothers board for years, and instrumental in the growth of Triedstone. Her daughters were
Wow.
president of the deaconess, Veneta James. That's our
Yeah.
aunt.
Mhm.
And our uncle Willie James was the president of the deacon board for years. I think a couple of
When we go,
decades. He actually trained Deacon Outlaw, and
not Willie
Wow.
James,
was
Jesse
very
James.
very close to Deacon Outlaw too.
Jesse James, Dee Dee.
Uh-huh.
Jesse James, yes. Did I say Deacon James?
You said Willie James. That's Jesse's
Oh, I'm
son.
sorry. Yes, yes. Oh, that.
And
Thank you
so
for
in this
correcting me.
picture, and in this
That's
picture, it
actually
looks like we have Deacon Jesse James and Deacon Willie James in this picture.
Yes,
And
yes,
who do we
yes.
have here in the middle? Yeah,
the
who do we
one up
have there in
top
the
is
middle? Who's the family there in the middle?
that's William and his family.
Hmm.
William Griffin
Okay.
and
Okay.
his
Right.
wife and
Okay.
children.
Yes, that's our
Okay.
cousin William. Yeah, William. He's not at Triestone at the moment, but grew up in the church, played the drums for
Mhm.
years for the church as a teenager. But
Okay.
he was very instrumental in the building of the new edifice. Triestone at
Okay.
1415 started as a smaller unit, and then we built on. And William was very instrumental in
Mhm.
the just getting the finance part and working with the business aspect of getting the church built. Hmm.
Now that's my mother.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes, yes, yes. And what did your mom do at Tristone Mill?
She sang in the choir
Hmm. A lead
Okay, in the
soloist.
choir.
Yeah.
for
Hmm.
many years.
Wow. Wonderful. Wonderful.
Hey,
I'm
Doris. Yeah.
gonna try to do one. Oh.
Melvin and I, we're really blessed. Our family has, stayed committed and steadfast at the church, and we'd be remiss to not mention my aunt, Melvin's cousin, Tamara Smith,
Summer Smith, yeah.
my uncle Ralph Smith, LaRonda. They're still,
Mhm.
members of the church, but Aunt Tam was
Mhm.
president of the choir for years.
Yes.
I left
Mhm.
out the many Saturdays I spent with my aunt preparing the announcements in the bulletin. Oh my God, that went on for a long time.
Mhm.
Mhm.
My whole Saturday gone taking care of
Yeah.
type, and that's when we had the typewriters and everything. But um,
Uh-huh.
just a lot of dedication. And my uncle, before we had the the videoing ministry at the church, he started like the recordings at the church, and a lot of the early
Mm-hmm.
documentation, especially of like Youth in Action and just
Yeah,
some of the
right. Yes.
services.
Mm-hmm.
Ralph Smith. Uh, we thank him for having that history there, and it's just
Mm-hmm.
it's just a lot to be grateful for. Hmm.
Yeah. I was gonna ask, you all have such a deep legacy, at Triedstone. What would you say, in all that time, what would you say was your most impactful moment, being a member of Triedstone? Didi, what would you say it is?
My most impactful moment. Oh wow, that's so many. I would just have to sum it up like um, my my first jab at public speaking was at Triedstone. My first friend
Mhm,
was made at Triedstone. My relationship with Christ, my encounter with the Holy Spirit was at Triedstone. So
mhm,
there's so many that
mhm,
I really can't name just one, but just to give you a
mhm,
glimpse, every part of my life and who I am today, um, I have to account to being a part of my church.
mhm, mhm. Love
Oh
that.
yeah.
How about you, Melvin? What has been, the most impactful moment for you at Triestone?
Well, the most impactful moment for me at Triedstone would have been, first of all, me accepting the Lord as my personal Savior,
Mm-hmm.
and the choir. I've always been a lover of singing. I've always been a lover of giving, helping people out.
Mm-hmm. Wow. That's good. I love that. I'm loving this. Let me ask you all. So you've been, there for a while, and so you obviously have seen a transition, with pastors and things like that. So with our current pastor, Bishop Gordon, how has your life, what kind of impacts has he made? What have you seen, as being changed or different in your life as a result of being under Bishop Gordon?
Mhm. Oh wow. Bishop Gordon is so many things. I can remember. It was funny. Well, one, I was about 12 or so, 12 or 13 when when Bishop came. Maybe, I don't know, between 11 and 13 or something
Mhm,
along that line. But he would make us pray. And I remember like, oh my goodness, like, wait a minute, deacons pray. Like, I'm too nervous. I can't pray. I can't pray. And
mhm,
I mean, he would just randomly call us. And my prayer life um, definitely grew. My prayer life um, took a different meaning to me under Bishop. And for one, he
mhm,
took the fear out of, the public speaking part of it. But then two, he's just like, you just talk to God. And I'm just thinking of the words back then. It's
mhm.
like, no, just like, you just talk
Yeah.
to God. You don't have to,
Mhm,
the cliches and the big words. He took all of that out and said, hey, you just talk to God. And then before you know it, it just grew and grew, and the prayer life just grew. And I mean, all of it. It was like,
mhm,
oh my goodness. So, Bishop Gordon also, he's our pastor. He's our friend. You know, we
mhm,
um, we started a lot smaller, um, but very powerful. And these were
mhm.
times where, oh my goodness, Bishop had a station wagon, and it would be so many of us in that in that station wagon. And I'm thinking, so at some point, the pastors, it's like this big image you thinking, and like, oh,
Mhm,
after we come to this visiting church, and after we do this, we're gonna go to Jedi's Garden, and and this is
Yes.
like our pastor with us, okay?
yeah.
And he was dropping off. he wasn't a school bus, but it was like almost like a school bus. He had a route dropping this person off and that person off, and then okay, and I see you later. And so, Bishop, our spiritual father, but also our friend. And so,
Mm.
those are two things that for me, in terms of just my, growth under Bishop and my relationship with him also.
Wonderful. Thank you for sharing that. How about you, Melvin? What has
Well,
been, how has Bishop's, your life been impacted under Bishop Gordon's ministry?
it has been impacted greatly. As Dee Dee said,
Mhm.
before Bishop became pastor, I mean, I prayed, but I've never prayed out in the open. We've never prayed
Mhm.
in the public before Bishop became pastor. I mean, I learned. I grew up without my father in my life. I learned what it was to be actually. I actually learned how to be a man up under Bishop's teaching
Mhm.
and Bishop's
Mhm.
pastoralship. He
Mhm.
was a mentor. I actually wanted to stem my life after how his life was growing up.
Mhm.
I mean, when I was growing up, I did some wrong things, but actually, it taught me. I learned integrity up under Bishop's teaching.
Mhm. Wonderful. Wow, thank you so much, both of you, for sharing that. And that leads me to, the next thing, because we've been talking so much about the past, and the wonderful legacy that your family has in Triedstone Church. What do you see coming down the line? Like, where do you all see your family, or yourselves, in this ministry in the next 5 to 10 years? What do you see for yourself, in this ministry down the line? How about you, Didi?
Well, yes. One very, how can I say, proud attribute that I connect with our church is that it's a church, we're a church outside of the walls. Okay. So,
Yeah.
um, the different ministries and the way that we can impact lives, um, in the community outside of the church to then
Mm-hmm.
draw them in. And so, I am the church. So my behavior, my talk, the way that I live my life is the ministry. And I feel like just like we tell our children, you're a Griffin, you carry this Griffin
Mm-hmm.
name. I'm a member of Triedstone. And so when
Yes.
I'm out and about, I exemplify that. Okay.
Yes.
And so
Mm-hmm.
I will always carry that with me, in the future moving forward. I stand very proud and I'm very cognizant of that. And
Mm-hmm.
I plan to represent that well. But also just participate more, just participating a little more in the
Mm-hmm.
Melvin has it down packed. He's at the food pantry every Saturday.
Yeah.
A couple,
Yeah.
but just spreading the word of the wonderful things that are going on at our
Mm-hmm.
church, and I do that, and I do that even now. But just
Mm-hmm.
spreading the word of the wonderful things that are going on in our church, and just putting Christ first, and just asking and suggesting and just pulling people in to come and
Mm-hmm.
try. Oh, taste and see that the Lord is good.
Yes.
Come and try and get a
Yes.
piece of Triedstone, and I'll stop there, Melvin. I'll let you go.
Wonderful. How about you, Deacon Melvin? I'm gonna wear that out,
You
Deacon.
know what? Don't do that. Stop playing here. Well, I'll
Deacon.
in the future to come. I'm just gonna continue to be Melvin.
Hmm.
I mean, I'm a part of everything now already.
Yeah.
I'm at the food pantry on Fridays and Saturdays. Wherever they need me at. I
Hmm.
help out with
Hmm.
the health awareness ministry still. I'm not a part of it, but I still help out. I'm a nurse, one of the
Hmm.
nurses. I'm on the nurses board. I'm gonna
Right.
continue to do my duties and my job that I do in the church. Triedstone was a part of me. I was born in Triedstone. It'll always be a part of me. I've only
Mhm.
been in one church my entire life, and that's
Mhm.
Triedstone.
Wow. Wow. I love how you both talked about, the um church outside the walls, because that's really what we're about. Um we have like a whole lot of things that we do to serve the community. And I like how Elder Demetra Dukes, she would say sometimes that we're holistic, we serve the whole man. And that's really true, from the food pantry to total resources, helping people save their
Yeah.
homes, all kinds of community resources that we have right in the house. What would
Oh
you
yeah.
both say is your favorite part of that? Like, what do you enjoy most about? Like, Mel, you're really active with food pantry. What keeps you coming back to the food pantry? Like, what do you enjoy most about that?
I enjoy seeing the people's faces, their smiles on their
Hmm.
faces. I actually was a part
Hmm.
of Total Resources as well. I enjoy helping the people out. I
Yep.
just enjoy
Hmm.
people getting help where help is needed and it's given freely.
Hmm. Hmm. I love that. I love that. Didi, how about you? Of all those, services that we have, those I should say resources. I don't want to say services like we in church service. I want to distinguish between what I'm talking about. The resources that we offer the community, and not just the community where the church is, the city of Chicago, right? Like we serve the city.
Yeah.
And so of all of those resources that we are blessed to be able to give out to the people. What about which one of those do you resonate with the most or enjoy the most?
Wow. Do I have to choose one?
No.
But what? Okay. Okay. So there are three that come to mind for me. Um, I I really like what I see with the After School Matters programs that they do for the youth
Mhm.
Hmm.
throughout the city.
Yes.
Um, After School Matters. If you're a member of our church or not,
Or not.
Yes.
many of those students, I want to say the majority of those
Or
After
not.
School Matters students are not members of the church,
Hmm.
but some have become, through that. Okay.
Yes.
The
Hmm.
prison
Yep.
ministry. My sister, actually, my brother-in-law's mother, Elder Marsha Adger, who recently passed away, was
Hmm.
instrumental with the prison ministry.
Hmm.
Um, her just, all of the great things that have happened through the prison ministry
Hmm.
about Total Resource.
Hmm.
Our
Yes.
church,
Yes. Yes.
who have now
Hmm.
become even members of our church, have, like you mentioned, the mortgage assistance, um, the light and gas bill, things along that
Hmm.
line. I mean, and this is coming from one church.
Yes.
So, no, all
Yes.
of those.
Wonderful. One, I love how you mentioned After School Matters because it just reminded me while you were talking, I was reminded of Triedstone's musical legacy, right? Like
Yes. Yes.
there are certain things Triedstone is known for, right? With music being the word, the music and doing things in excellence, right? Like that's our brand pretty much. And so that After School Matters program is a music program. And it's just so interesting how
Yeah.
that just kind of tied in together with what we already do at Triedstone. So I'm just loving it. I love to see where we are now. But I really am glad to have heard, your account of where we come from. You know what I mean? It's important
Yeah.
to, reach back and realize and appreciate the beginning. You know what I mean? So that we can have a better appreciation for where we are now. And I have to say, I appreciate both of you. And, Dee Dee, every time you sing and just, take the church, there, and with you already there yourself, but we just going along for the ride. And so I just definitely have to say, I appreciate how God uses you and Melvin, the same. Melvin is often, for those of you who have ever been in one of our services, you already know Melvin is not only Deacon Melvin, but comic relief sometimes. So you can
Yes,
obviously,
yes.
when the word gets good to Melvin, you'll hear wait, in the background.
Wait.
So wait. So that's Melvin back there cutting up. So you both add so much value to our Triedstone experience. So I just want to both, salute
Oh,
both of
that's
you
blessed.
and say thank you so much for taking your time to share your family story, your family's legacy at Triedstone. So thank both of you for that. And so I'll say to those
Thank you.
watching, oh, you're very welcome.
Yes,
To
thank
those
you.
of you who are watching, I have been your host, Minister LaDonna Bracy from Triedstone Church of Chicago. Our pastor is Bishop Simon Gordon. And we are celebrating 78 years in ministry. We are living where the blessing is. And we thank you so much for watching. I hope this has been a blessing to all of you watching. And you can always find us on Facebook Live, YouTube. We're on all social channels. So connect with us and grow with us. Amen. Amen. Thank you all
Amen.
so
Amen.
very much.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.